we have it within ourselves to do anything, to be anything, to not really fix anything, but to really heal ourselves, improve our financial situation, be rich and famous if we wish, be poor and lonely and unknown if we wish. Any of those things we can be, do, and or have. Now, there's a few things that you have to do and understand in order to create your own reality in the way that you want it to be. Now, you're doing all that anyway, right? You are. You're the only one who can do it. Many people claim victimhood, but they're the victim of themselves. And until they realize that, then they will spiral out of control. Now, it does take a tremendous amount of effort and focus and willpower to, put a lasso around your mind, because that is the problem. And in order to solve that problem, the fastest way to do that is to meditate. And when you do the meditation, and that will quiet your mind. Now, frankly, I've been doing meditation for a long, long time. Okay. And is my mind always quiet? No, it's going to run. But I am paying very close attention to what it's running on and what it's running about and what it's saying. And so if it's running down the road of, oh my God, this is going to go bad, then I stop it. I'm in control. It's my mind. I can do with it whatever I want to. It's mine. Now, if you don't realize it's yours and you think something else is going on, then if you don't own it, you can't control it. Well, that's not mine. And, I don't know what's going on up there. It's just running along, and it's just going to do that. It's going to continue to do that. But if you grab a hold of it and say, hey, you're my mind, I'm not letting you go this way. And a lot of times I'll say, I have to communicate with people about certain things because I cannot compete. I cannot compete with their imagination because it goes nuts. They're not in control of it. So I have to communicate with them and say, hey, look, a lot of times I'll tell them, I can't compete with your imagination. So that's why I'm calling you. Don't worry about this. It's gonna be good. It's just a thing, If you're gonna define it as bad, then it's gonna be bad for you. It's not gonna be bad for me because I'm not gonna define it that way. I'm gonna define it as, oh wow, this is really great, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But, and I don't know what's great about it necessarily at the time I say that. But I know, without a doubt, I know that there is something there that I will get as a huge benefit, equal or greater benefit out of this supposedly negative event. And I'm quoting, somewhat paraphrasing, from Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill said, out of every negative situation is an equal or greater positive. It's up to us to, number one, define it that way. Number two, find the positive. Or if you just define it, it'll show up. If you just watch it and not label it as negative, if you just keep neutral about it, the positive will show itself to you. It has to. So, all that is to say, as Bashar likes to remind us, life is meaningless. And what he means by that, whatever these events are that show up in our lives, in themselves have no meaning. We put the meaning on them, usually from our benefits, our beliefs, usually from the beliefs that we have. And those beliefs come from a foundational structure of what we've experienced and what we've defined in the past. May or may not be true. Probably none of it's true, really, because it's a construct of what you believe. So it's neutral. The construct is neutral. We come in, define it. Now, are we fed with a whole bunch of nonsense through television, through our peers and social media and YouTube, and big one is television programs? Movies are really good. I had a belief about some stuff, and I traced it back to an old movie I saw when I was a kid. And so I said, oh, so that's where all that came from. And it was quite illuminating. And so I started, tinkering with those ideas and beliefs and foundations of what I thought might be my reality, or the reality as it existed out there. Okay. Things started changing when I started changing those foundational and structural beliefs about reality. And quite fascinating to watch, and entertaining as hell. It's just like, oh wow, this is really interesting. And it's way more interesting, quite frankly, to discover these beliefs and foundations that you thought were real and realize they're not, and start changing them. And now this is where the fun begins. You think manifesting this stuff is the fun. It's not. You manifest a new car and you're excited about it for a couple days or a week, maybe two. And this, guess what? It's not a new car anymore. It's a used car, and you're driving a used car. Guess what comes with a used car? A lot of times, big fat payments come with that used car. And then you put mileage on it, it gets dirty, and it doesn't have that new car smell anymore. Why? Because it's a used car. And then you have to maintain it, and eventually it's going to break. And then all of a sudden you want a new car again. And then you run down that road, and you get what I'm saying. Now, what's really fun is when you do all this in your imagination. And your used car never becomes that. It's always a new car. It's because it's in your imagination. You can do anything you want with it. And maybe you want a jet. Hey, jets are fun. I frankly, I've only ridden in commercial jets. I'm going to get in a private jet here pretty soon. Why? Because I've done it in my imagination quite a bit lately. Now, do I want to own a private jet? Yeah, yes and no. But, I've been looking up what it costs to run those things, and they're expensive. And if I get a new one, guess what? In a couple of weeks, it'll be a used private jet. And if I get a brand new one, the value will probably be cut in half, just like a car, just the same, And then it'll have big ass expenses in a pilot. Although I'll want to be the pilot, but not all the time, So there'll be pilots to pay and fuel to put in it, a lot of fuel, a lot. Think about filling up your car, forget it. This is the price of a used car to fill up your private jet for a couple trips. And then after a while, it's a used jet, and then you have to fix it. And then you have to rebuild the engines. And so, it's not that much fun. But in your imagination, it's a blast. And you don't have to do all those things. And then the private jet comes along. And go ahead and do it, because in your imagination, you've created tons of money to pay for this thing, so it just doesn't really matter anymore. Are you getting where I'm coming from? And this is where the fun of life is. It's in your imagination.